Hello, this is Attorney Brown Pendergraft, and I thought that I would just shoot quick video commentary to my latest article on understanding easement agreements in Maryland and DC, so I can kind of hit on the important points for people that don't feel like reading articles. So, um, yes, this is a new what's it called form of content actually. So let me know what you think in the comments. Um, so I should probably start with a disclaimer that, this is legal information for general purposes only. This is not legal advice. So basically, after you listen to this, man, don't think that you can go and do easements on your own, or, or if you do and mess up, please don't sue me afterwards and say that I gave you bad advice. All right, so let's get right into it. What is an easement agreement? So an easement agreement is an agreement that allows for the easement holder to use the land of another, in most cases for a specific purpose. And the example that I use is in my article of an easement is it's a very common example. The example that I use is that a water line or sewer line, for example. So let's say I'm building a new home, and one of the important things that I would need for this new home to make it, for it to be a nice modern home, is I need water. And in order for me to get water to my new home, a lot of times what I have to do is run a water line to it. Anyways, the problem is that we can't, just run a water line through a vacuum. A lot of times a water line has to be ran through your neighbor's land in order to reach yours. Now, the way for me to now again, generally speaking, I have no right to touch the land. It's not mine, so I can't just run a water line through my neighbor's line just because I don't have water. It doesn't work like that. So the way it works is that I would have to essentially pay my neighbor and get an agreement to use his land specifically for my water line. And I can pay him, he can accept the payment. He can say, all right, great. You can use this portion of my land to run a water line through. That is what is called an easement. So that is an easement. There's easements all around. Chances you probably have easements for at your home. Probably across your neighbor's land. You may not even know it. In order for you to get access to water and a sewer line as well. So you need to use bathroom. You need a sewer line. So that's why they're great. So let's see further down my article, and I say why easement agreements are practically necessary. So I just kind of explain that, but all right. So by agreements, perhaps I should have said easement contract right there. But anyway, so contracts are great because they have terms, and so whenever there's issues, or you can look at the terms. So, for example, here, if you want to know how much an easement costs, just look at the contract or look at the agreement. Or what purpose can it be used? That can be written into the agreement. What happens if say the property owner breaches the agreement, or what happens if the easement holder breaches the agreement? So let's say you use it as a water line, or I don't know, and then you're not properly maintaining the water line, and then the property owner they suffer some damages because the easement holder wasn't properly maintaining the water line as they claimed that they would. Then a lot of times you can look to, and a good agreement will say, what happens in these sorts of situations, or, whether you can sue someone for attorney's fees or whatever it may be. A lot of that can be written into the agreement. So that's why agreements or contracts are great. So here, let's see, let me go a little bit further down. All right, so I explained why easement agreements should be recorded. So easement agreements should be recorded essentially for the same reason that a deed should be recorded, right? So once something's recorded, it becomes public record, and now everyone has noticed that you are the owner of that land. At least in the case of deeds, you want that same sort of protection when it comes to easements as well. You want to put the world on notice. It's no different than that you are able to access that easement. So it's great stuff. Let's see. And I further go to explain, are there other ways to acquire easements other than by agreement. So not only can easements be created by contract, which is essentially how I've been, you know, describing easements up until now. I've been describing easements by contract, by voluntary agreements between both of the parties. They can also be created by law. In most jurisdictions, I believe they call it a prescriptive easement. So a easement created by law is one that a court creates. So say, for example, if I have a piece of land that the only way for me to access this piece of land is that I have to walk across someone else's land in order to access my land, then in many cases, I will be allowed, if I were to, let's say my neighbor didn't let me cross their land, I could probably sue my neighbor. And I think I probably went, so I could, cross their land for the specific purpose of reaching my land. So that is what a prescriptive easement is for. Alrighty, and let's see. We are at the end of the article, and that is who should I contact if I need an easement agreement drafted or reviewed in Maryland or DC? And that goes without saying. That would be me, Brian Pendergraft. So, contact information, it should all be in the you can visit my website. Links all in the description. So, alrighty, thanks for watching.